tuned into the Tea Time with Tierra show with your superstar, Tierra Stone, also featuring co-host Pete Kosobu. This show is centered around the LGBTQ community and all the things that are fun, fresh, and fabulous. Please enjoy.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Tea Time with Tierra. As you can see, we are in a different location. We're in the studio and we're here with my co-host Pete.
Hello everybody.
So this is great space here.
Yeah. I'm just looking now at my hair. My hair looks awful. It's been raining today, so
and
anyway.
you've been working out. But mine's flat too.
Is yours flat?
It's flat just because of weather.
I washed it. I can't do a thing with it.
Oh, it just does this by itself. Oh goodness! So what have you been up to, Pete?
Well, now, number one, I want to show off my shirt, True to You Radio, and that is, we have Tea Time with Tierra on YouTube, and Tierra is also on True to You Radio, Tea Time with Tierra. So you can go to truetoyouradio.com and you can see her episodes, or you can listen to her episodes there. If you're not seeing quite as many on there as you are on YouTube, it's my fault. I'm sorry, because I have to split the audio from the video and all kinds of crazy stuff. So anyway, I'm doing that. I also have an eBay store, ice_blue_pearl on eBay. And I'm an angel intuitive medium. And I also am right now currently a field inspector for mortgage companies, which is that's the business that I want to give back out there to the world and give to somebody. So that's the one they're all four trying to grow at the same time. So we have really an exciting new project. Should we talk about the exciting new project, or should we talk about Halloween? Which one should we talk about?
Let's talk about Halloween first.
Okay, let's do that.
What are you going to do for Halloween? I had that question ready for you, didn't I?
Yeah, because I've really kind of been thinking there's this wild streak in Pete. Yeah.
You want to do drag?
I don't know that I would ever do drag, but I might do something that would be I don't know a nice way to put what RuPaul used to say, a gender
bender.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Just something that would be just a little bit different. You know what I mean? It's really interesting for me because I sell jewelry, I sell women's clothes, I sell purses, and I like being around them, but I've never really wanted to wear them. In fact, as you can see right now, I don't have any jewelry on, and jewelry just kind of like, some reason once I put it on, it's like, oh, that's great, okay, it's ready to come off. You know, I don't know why, I
got something for you.
Okay.
You know Charlie is it Chaplin? The old?
Right.
Okay. But we'll take a different twist on it.
Okay.
You'll be a female impersonating a male.
Like a Victoria?
Yes, but you can have a little mustache, but be androgynous.
Okay. Well, have you seen that new video, the American Apparel Ad girls with Alaska Thunder, you can't say that, and Willem and Courtney Act? Have you seen that new video?
I have not seen it.
Well, in that video, there's this guy in there. Kurt, okay, if Kurt's out there watching this, okay, you're cute. Anyway, sorry. He's wearing like these socks that come up like thigh high. You know what I mean?
Just like socks.
Just like they're like athletic socks. You know, the ones with the rings. Like back in the old '70s, the old tube socks. So they come like way up to here. And I thought, I kind of like those. And I'm just gonna say, I've been working out. I have some really great legs. So. What you gonna do?
And he never shows us his legs.
I do have
here at the studio.
Anyway.
Well, so what would you do?
I did think about one time coming in here in shorts. I had actually thought about that.
Why didn't you?
I don't know. I haven't on the maybe.
Or now you can.
Yeah, maybe the next time I will do that. Come in and.
So tube socks and what?
I would love to wear a taller heel. Because I'm not a very tall person. I just kind of brush. I always say 5'10", but that's a little bit of a stretch, So it might be interesting seeing what it's like to be a few inches taller.
So you're talking platforms?
I don't know what even would be out there.
The 70s vibe shoe,
Yeah, I would like maybe the ones that had the goldfish in them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, it's from the movie. That movie, I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, or the car wash movie back in the 70s. Yes, I love that.
Yeah.
He wouldn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
But that'd be cool.
Yeah, I don't know. Just kind of just something that's a little bit out there and just different, and it would almost be like I would almost feel like I would need to wear like a little of a mask or something like that, just so that people wouldn't eventually I would
wouldn't catch on.
I would like to see what the body would show first before the face. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you can wear a mask.
Yeah, because people, sometimes you'll see somebody like from afar, from behind, and then they turn around and you're like, and you see them in a completely different way. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? So
What you can see first is what you judge them on.
right, exactly, and that would be, well, that's what would be interesting to
Yeah.
see. You know what would
Great.
happen? Yeah,
Interesting.
Yeah, because I found like this happened to me last weekend. Right after I work out, I must have this great glow to me or something like that, and I'm really not. I don't. People are like, God, what a, but this is just my personal experience. I mean, it's just what I'm relaying, and I'm just talking about how people, relate to you and the kind of energy that you're putting out there. I just noticed that, like last time after I went somewhere, and like everybody, this man held the door for me, or I held the door for him. He said, "Oh, the nice looking doorman I've ever seen," and it was just like the whole time I was going through the restaurant, everybody, like 6 or 7 people, came up to me and had a comment, kind of like that. It was like.
It's your exhibit.
Yeah, it's just
it's
interesting.
what you're displaying.
And see, I used to be 320 pounds. That's why I talk about my body all the time, because I'm still, like, I'll do yoga and I fall over all the time and I asked my trainer, I was like, why do I have no balance? He said, Pete, because you're used to balancing all that weight and you're not used to balancing,
makes sense.
And so I'm still learning how to inhabit this body.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Makes complete sense.
Yeah. So if anybody's out there, like, he talks about his body all the time, that's why, because it's still new to me. I literally,
Yeah.
I walk by a reflective surface and I'll be like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
that's the new me. So
Catch you by surprise.
it
sometimes.
does. It still catches me by surprise.
Wow.
It does, absolutely.
Don't mind looking at mirrors now, do you?
Oh, I love every reflective surface.
I'm surprised this room isn't covered in mirrors. Wouldn't be a bad thing, would it?
No, how could it be?
That would be great.
And that's something we might even talk about later on about why that might be a good thing. But let's.
Okay.
So, but you were on what was it? A haunted walk?
We went on a ghost walk
Okay.
Friday night at 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock. They start promptly, so if you're going, you have to get there right at 6, maybe a little before to get your ticket. But they have 4 different tours. They have 3 walking tours and 1 trolley tour. And we took Grant and Jerry went on a haunted walk a week before that, and they did the downtown walk, which displays, they go through the downtown and tell you all the haunted buildings and things that people were that got hung in during the early days and stuff like that. So it's very interesting. But the way we went on was Twickenham. It showed all the antebellum homes and the stories behind those people that lived in them, that died, and it was a storytelling walk.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
And so that's in Huntsville.
It's in Huntsville downtown,
Right.
and they do it the whole month of October, I think. I know through Halloween probably, which will be great on Halloween. Halloween's on Friday this year.
Oh, is it really? I didn't even know
Yes.
about that.
And he said last year they had a great. Well, the last time it was on Friday. The tour guide said that they had a great time.
I imagine so.
Because he's dressed in a top hat with blood running out of his eyes, and this white beard with a black streak down the front of it, like a tuxedo jacket with tails, with a cane. He's got the whole vibe going on. So it's pretty interesting. It's about a 2-mile tour. You get to stop and walk, hear a little story. I never got creeped out though.
Yeah.
It wasn't that kind of thing.
Right.
It was just the story about they say at certain times he has those little moments where it's Kodak moments. They'll tell you, like, if you're from a place that says this Kodak moment means that sometimes there's been things captured there.
Oh, interesting.
We were at one place. What was that house that set way back off the road that he overlooked Huntsville at one time because he was the ruler? John Pope. And so he had a house there, and they said at times when they're talking during this walk, if you take pictures of him, there's actually, you can see people behind him. And then the trees are swagging like people got hung out there back in the day.
Right.
Just little apparitions of things. And just
Well, we're always surrounded by energy.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And transition souls, we are all eternal, no matter what the Baptists tell you. We are all eternal.
I've always believed that too.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to throw it. No.
I
hate.
was Baptist,
hate.
so I know they're still transitioning to me. They're transitioning right now.
Right.
But yeah, it's
But that energy is always there.
always.
You know what I mean? And especially when you start highlighting or focusing on something that was important to them, or even just on some aspect of them, you really bring them up. It's interesting to me, like, especially when somebody starts talking about someone, I can usually see them. I mean, I think I've talked about this before. It's it'd be their right shoulder, right?
Right shoulder.
Yeah, I'm bad with right.
It's
and left,
always
so-
on the right shoulder.
Always for me. Yeah.
It can be different for others.
It probably can be. I just know my experience.
Is that interesting to you? I mean, how does that, like when you see, like if we were sitting here, you may have already seen something, not quite sure.
I see your dad all the time.
Is that going out?
Hang on one second, y'all. We're just making sure we're still. Yep, we're still recording. Okay.
Yeah, and
we're getting used to a new system, so please forgive us.
Yeah, it's a great system though. You should see it. But how is that? Do you see him as a? How do you see them? Like if you see my dad, how do you see him as a person or as a color?
Well, it's interesting. I usually see a face, and it can be some kind of pale. Sometimes spirit will come forward as they want it to be, so they may come forward differently than the way you recognize them. And sometimes they come forward. I mean, like for instance, Joan Rivers has been coming to me. And it's interesting because she comes together exactly as I know her. And I've asked her why. And she said, I spent this much money to look like this. And I'm going to look like this for the rest of eternity. And I'm like, and she's so wonderful and so warm. And so she just gives me she gives me pep talks all day long. She hugs me all the time. She's just a fabulous energy.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And the way you can really, there's two aspects to dealing with spirit. Number one is to realize in yourself that it isn't coming, that it's not just your head, because you never speak to you as you or as we. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you're speaking in your own mind, you never use your name.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So when you hear your name, or when you hear somebody talking about, you as a separate extension from themselves, that's spirit talking to you. Does that make sense?
Kinda. I guess
there's the way that they speak to us that we don't speak to ourselves, because there is self-talk.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just realizing, and that's a big hurdle for a lot of people to come through, because they think, I can't speak to spirit, or why would spirit speak to me, or this is just not real, or whatever. And you can ask questions and ask for clarification and just enjoy it. You know what I mean? And that's why it's funny, because a lot of people that deal with spirits, they kind of laugh a little bit at Halloween, because we make it into like this big like scary thing, and like spirits are scary, and there are certain spirits you want to be careful around, but you can also be protected. So for the most part, spirit is there just to bring your best part forward and to be the best for you. So it's really kind of funny the way how most people think of like Halloween and death,
right,
and that type of thing.
And most people think of death as a tragic moment, or a moment. I used to.
Right.
When I did lose my dad, I think that kind of, I used to be scared of people dying or being around dead people. But then I got into doing people's hair at the funeral home.
Right.
So after my dad died, I touched him. I faced it. And I think since then it's different for me when I walk into a funeral home to visit someone, whether, to pay respect to them. It's different for me. I haven't got upset at a funeral, probably the last 4 or 5 funerals I've been to.
Right.
And I thought I was losing my emotions. But I think it's because I interpret it differently now.
Exactly.
Does that make that's the way it is?
You're seeing it from that universal mindset now.
And I didn't know that.
Right.
It's all coming.
Because you've told me before that you feel your dad. You feel your dad with you.
I feel my dad, and I feel my grandmother.
Right. And so you can even have a more intense, personal, intimate relationship after transitioning than you can before.
I believe that too, because I think now that my dad is gone, I believe that our relationship has improved.
Actually, that's right. It's and
really
some people would say, but that's true.
Now, used to the thought of him, it would be. Right. Now it's almost like, I wonder what he would do if he's seen this.
Right.
What would our conversation be today?
Right.
And it's always pleasant.
Right.
I never get that ill feeling toward that, just hearing the name anymore.
Yeah.
But my grandmother, I've actually seen my grandmother's face.
Oh yeah.
On a wall.
Okay.
She wore the little perm and just smiled. She always laughed, and I've seen that sometimes at my saddest moments. It's almost like she's come in and said, you know, that type
I
of
love
thing.
that.
And I would just look at her, and there she was. She was on my
Wow.
lampshade. Or by my lampshade. I couldn't, it was there. It was kind of blending into the wall.
Right. It's
And
never. It's real ethereal a lot of times.
It was kind of amazing.
Mm.
That brought me to tears because she was, you know, my pride and joy. You know.
And was she as you remembered her?
Exactly the way I remembered her.
That's amazing.
Laughing, and there was no sickness toward
Right.
her, and she died with Alzheimer's. So there was no any of that.
Right.
It was like she was back to Granny.
Who you remembered?
Yeah.
I love
Isn't
that.
something?
I'm so glad you shared that with us.
Yeah. It's but I've always been not as in tune as I am now.
Right.
And I'm still learning. And I
Right.
think we all are learning.
Yeah.
But I got a question for you about the spirits.
Okay.
Do you think they talk to everyone and everyone just doesn't know they're talking?
Absolutely.
Okay, me too.
Absolutely.
Because at home where I live now,
Mhm.
there's something, I don't know who it is, I haven't figured that out, but I'm the only one that sees it.
Mm-hmm.
My sister feels things, but
Right.
she's not even as far as I am in that understanding of it.
Right.
But I will say it's by the utility room, and I see a white gown. I see this white gown that's fanned out,
Mhm.
like the angel wings or something. But it's not wings; it's just draped fabric.
Right.
And
How
she's looking,
fabulous.
and I'm like, she's looking at me.
Yeah.
And my brother-in-law, who is completely does not believe in it, you know,
Mm.
it does not exist. Well, regardless of how much you don't believe in it,
Mm.
doesn't make it go away.
Right. Right.
So, and he'll go. I always thought it was his mother, because there's no one. I get that feeling that someone that's attached to me,
Mhm.
or that I'm attached to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so but and the washer would like stop at times. You know, it's like she's gonna do laundry, and she's coming out to see if anybody needs something. That's what I feel from her. She's a motherly figure.
Right.
I feel that from her.
Well, I love that. That's fantastic, and they can, very much have effects with electronics and that type of thing because they are energy. Electronics are energy.
Yeah, and I've actually heard knocks on the door, like a knock on the door, and I'm like, "Who is it?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like that. But nobody's there except for me.
Right.
And I'll always say, "Come in. Who is it?" Or go to the door like somebody's there.
Right.
But don't you believe someone was there?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I think it was just trying to get my attention.
Right. I think now for me it's kind of interesting because now I have to discern between whether it's spirit or it's physical. Like for instance, I deal a lot with vacant homes, and sometimes I'll be around a vacant home and I know it's vacant, and I'll be passing by and I'll hear something inside, and I'm like,
While you're in the car?
Well, like usually if it's a vacant home, I usually have to walk around it. So and it doesn't scare me. It just kind of like it makes me think, okay, was that spirit? Or is there really somebody in there? But I mean, in most of these houses, it's like, oh, I know that's vacant. You know what I mean? You just know.
Yeah.
So, but that's interesting. It's almost like the house or something in the house is just kind of, I'm here. Just kind of letting you know it's here. And as you become more open to spirit, you start being, you start attracting more spirit to you. Like for instance, there's a store, and I won't give the name or anything like that, but there's a store I go to in town. Since I've been buying a lot of computer stuff, I'll let people guess which one it is. And whenever I walk in there, there's this one particular person. It's just like shroomp. I mean, it's just like there is something that is trying to get through to this person, and I'm just the most convenient channel. I mean, I'm nothing special. I'm just the most convenient. I'm like the only plug that's working that day or something, and it's like, So, but you have to be open to be able, because I've told this person, that, and they haven't contacted me yet, and that's fine. But there's a certain points where you have to like just kind of tell spirit, okay, if this is to be, then they're gonna have to come to me. Otherwise, let's just kind of, because it distracts you. You know what I mean? Like, I think I've even been talking to you before, and all of a sudden you'll see me just kind of like, kind of get like these phased out. Because it does. It just, I'm one of these very, I'm gay, so I'm one of these very shiny object type people.
You're gay?
I don't love it.
Wow, everybody in the audience went,
But you know what I'm saying? I'm one of these very shiny object people. So if I see something shiny, my attention just goes ring.
I'm that way with heels.
I am too. I just don't wear them.
I don't wear the ones I have either because I love shoes.
Right. I went shoe shopping the other day.
Did you?
Oh my God, it was.
Did you buy some heels?
No, but
You look at women's shoes?
I absolutely do. Absolutely do. And so sometimes I buy them for eBay, not because they really make a whole lot of money on eBay, but just because it's fun to.
Somebody should own that fabulous pair of shoes.
Somebody should own that fabulous pair of shoes. Hang on a second, y'all. I'm just checking this one more time. We are just nervous our new system here. Still, all is well.
All is well. But also, what else? Last Sunday I went to Nashville to work.
Oh yeah, you went to the
gospel show,
gospel
Miss Kitty's
like the
show.
one with like our previous
Yeah.
show a few weeks back.
So it was amazing.
Really,
I have never been so welcomed and so. It was heartwarming. Those people. There's a minister there. There is that we pray before the show. You know, they offer communion during the. You know, during
Right.
It's almost like if you could open up a door on Let's Make a Deal.
Yeah.
And this is what this is today, and then all of a sudden it shuts and it's a club.
Oh.
It's kind of like a set, you know, but
Right.
it's still the same place.
Right.
But the whole vibe changes. Once that gospel show's over,
Yeah.
those other girls come in, so it's a get in, get out type.
Because I've been to play before when it was a club.
Yeah.
And it's pretty hopping.
happening.
Yeah, it's pretty hopping.
They have great looking people there.
Yeah.
But it was great. And Kitty, she sent Grant a picture of me
Yeah.
that I put on Facebook, and I had
Kitty loves Grant.
Yes, she does. I think she wants to marry Grant.
Yes. Every time, I know that when I was there, it was about half the conversation was about how cute Grant was and what a nice smile he had, which he won't come on camera and show us that beautiful smile right now. Now he's waving to us, so everybody's like,
Oh, you're over there.
for some reason this is flipping our pictures, so we're kind of.
But it was beautiful. It was just a great night.
What did you sing?
I did a song called King Jesus.
Okay.
I took him to church.
Oh, wow.
You know, it was like I don't sing, but you know,
I
Grant sings. Grant, just give me a little tune there.
And a one, and a two.
Come on, Grant. Anyway, it's a great song. And I did a song by Vicky Yohe called Deliverance is available. Ironically, when I got there to turn those two songs in, two other people, Kitty had been learning the Deliverance song.
Really?
And another girl on the show was going to do King Jesus.
Oh.
And Kitty said those songs, King Jesus has not been done in ages there. But two people, me and this other girl, showed up to it on the same night.
Oh, wow.
And she was learning the song I did.
Did you both do the song?
No,
or
special guest I gets you know,
you get the
she gets choice. So, but I didn't have any other music, so I had to do it.
Right.
I had been preparing for that for a while.
Okay.
So I chose to not.
Well, now how do you do? That's a really interesting question.
Yeah.
How do you rehearse for a drag performance? How do you? What?
Have to. First of all, you got to listen to the song 1,000 times, and then 1,000 more.
Right.
And the people in your household or the people around you are typically over it before you even get ready to get over it.
Right.
So it's a lot of listening because with anything, you've got, you know, if you're learning something, you got to learn the timing.
Right.
You know, in the song.
And you're learning somebody else's timing.
Yes.
Because it's natural to them, but you're having to kind of
right.
do that pattern.
And she's got this soulful, big, loud, soulful voice that she really takes you and makes you feel it.
Right.
So you have got to make it look like that's what you're singing.
Right.
So you just have to get into that moment. I mean, and you have to block it out.
Right.
As a matter of fact, I don't remember being on that stage that much during that number.
Wow. Because you were so into it.
I was so into it. And at one time I bit the tip of my tongue, which is crazy, and I thought my nose was bleeding. It wasn't, but did I tell you that? It was the craziest feeling. I thought, am I going to be bleeding? I was thinking this one, so I had a moment where I had to come out of that character, and I had to snap right back. So I just walked away and got myself together. But I thought my nose was going to bleed. I don't know if it was something I bit on my tongue, on the tip.
Did you just feel that flow?
Oh, yeah, it felt like my nose got real warm.
Interesting.
Very interesting. Don't know what that was, but it was good. It was the moment. It was an outer body experience. It was a surreal feeling, you know.
Wow. So did you do costume changes and hair changes and everything?
I didn't do hair changes because I had 4 wigs on.
Oh, wow. See, we got to do a show where because you were hair, you do hair.
Actually, I got my reinstating application to get started doing hair again. I've just got to get everything turned back in. Yeah, so I'm excited about that. But yeah, I had 4 wigs on, 2 that were sewed into a pair. 2 was down here, then I built it up, and 2 were up here.
How heavy is that?
I had a headache. and I wouldn't take it off on the way home because it was dark hair, so I had sprayed in with colored hairspray around my edges so it looked like that was my hair.
Girl, you were into this.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you know.
Oh, I polished every rhinestone that I wore that night.
Wow. So now, how is it easy to do a costume change with all that? I mean, how movable are you? Are you like this Barbie doll? Like,
I almost feel like that. I have a neck ache when I'm throwing. Not bad, but you can when you take the hair off, you can feel the release.
Wow.
And it's probably not good for you.
Right.
But I can't see doing it either way.
Right.
But it is very easy to change because most of my stuff has, they're a low cut off the shoulder type thing, so they have a wider neck.
Okay.
So
you just kind of step into them or something.
Yeah,
like
or zipped up. One had one that zipped up. So it's pretty easy. And there were 6 entertainers.
Now, do you have a dresser, or do you do this by yourself?
I usually do it by myself.
Wow. I mean, 'cause you got the nails and you got the. I mean,
touching up, you got to touch your makeup up. When I get off stage, I go back and I look at myself in the mirror.
Right.
And I start patting down. Just
beating your face.
Yeah,
right?
beating that mug. It's like beating that mug means you're absolutely pounding that makeup.
Really?
Not hard, but. And then
why is that? Just to keep it in? What does that do?
Well, that probably doesn't do anything in reality except you're beating that mug.
Okay, it's just part of it.
Pat,
part of the routine.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I start taking my clothes off. And then I get my next costume. It's already in line how I'm going to wear it. And then I put that other one on. Then I touch up my lips and my highlighting powder, and I'm ready to go. Spray a little perfume. I want to smell fresh.
Yeah.
And just go about your business.
Yeah.
When I first started, I thought it would be a lot harder. It was in the beginning.
Right.
I used to have a dresser that had everything. All I had to do was step in it. Of course, it was smart. It was smart. You're over there, over here. So he was really good, though. I mean, I didn't have to. All I had to do was stand there and step in shoes, and he put my earrings on, everything.
Wow.
And he didn't charge me a thing.
Wow. I mean, that almost seems like something you'd have to me.
You really, it's not. But a lot of places don't allow other people to be back there with
Really?
you.
Is it a privacy issue or something?
Yeah.
Or?
And a lot of other people don't feel comfortable.
Right. Because you're exposing.
Yeah, you get naked.
Yeah.
Except for your undergarments.
Right.
So you have to be. It's personal.
Yeah.
You get real personable with people.
So like, that's an interesting, even kind of topic to talk about. So I mean, because how much of femininity do like drag queens? I mean, would part of what they're kind of concerned about is the fact that they're seeing themselves as a woman and they're afraid somebody else wouldn't see them as a woman when they take off? Does that make sense?
Yeah,
to you?
it makes complete sense. I think it's just a matter of not wanting to get. People are shy in a lot of different areas. I think it's just that.
Okay. I didn't know if it was
it's
because they would feel like somebody was viewing them as not what they were trying to.
No, I don't
convey
think that's.
themselves as.
Yeah, and I think there may be people. I do. I have worked with girls that have on the transitioning level that do not want you to see their top part,
right?
And they don't want it's very private,
right?
So therefore they.
And isn't that weird that it's one of the first questions people usually ask? Well, have you done? And it's like, gosh, that's really none of your business.
Another thing crazy, but what's crazy about that? Those same people are the ones who get on stage and are almost completely naked.
Are you serious?
I won't call names, but a girl I worked with from Atlanta, she had these 2 Louis Vuitton scarves, and these 2 guys, we allowed them to help her. She stood behind
Louis
them.
Vuitton?
Right. I mean, who could knock that down?
Yeah.
So she would, and then would get out there and have just covers on her top and a little nothing on the bottom, and a pair of heels, and a ponytail that went all the way down to the floor.
Wow.
Just absolutely gorgeous. But she wanted that privacy backstage. Those people paid to get in to see a show,
right?
Not to get back, and a lot of times you don't want people to know your secrets.
Yeah, because you want to make sure everything's where it needs to be before you go out there, and you may not be quite cinched right.
If you get to know someone on the level of backstage, it takes away from the entertainment quality on stage.
Gotcha.
I think.
Gotcha.
That's why a lot of people come into their show and walk out because you don't see Reba coming out after a concert. If we all knew her on a personal level, we may not be as so surprised when we get to see her, or if we go to a concert. Not that everybody's on that level, but I think people want to be respected in the same aspect. It's interesting.
Yeah, because you hold a different space sometimes when you get it up close to people, and it changes the paradigm of absolutely.
Yeah, it's an interesting. I've only been backstage in all the shows because I'm always back there, but so I don't know it.
Check one more time.
I don't know it from their point of view, you know.
Still good.
I have to talk to Grant over here.
Yeah, this is flipping. Like we say, we're in the new studio, we're new process things. We're trying to
See,
make
I
sure
thought that was
things
the
are
sign.
working. Yeah.
But anything else you want to know about that?
I just think it's fascinating. So I mean, it's just a fascinating world, because I know somebody that's close to me that's thinking of transitioning, and so we're now at the point of are you he, she, he, and just even we're even talking about like medical insurance. What's the best type of medical insurance to cover? Because a lot of places now are actually
offering
seeing it, as something that you should you can have done, because it's. I don't want to say it's not. I don't know what they would call it. It's a condition, I guess you'd call it. Is that what you call it? A condition?
It's almost like I guess that's how they word it.
Right.
But it's kind of makes you feel like you're from Mars.
Right. Yeah. You don't. It's just something. It's in other words, they're trying to, I guess, validate it. That it's a.
They've got to have a word to be able for the insurance to take care of it.
Right. And a code.
Yeah, exactly.
God knows it has to have a code.
Oh yes, it's got to be entered under a code.
Right.
And it might as well be 0092. Whatever it is.
There should be a really good, sexy code we could come up with. I'm not sure. 009.
I want to say that. So has the person you're talking about, have they got to a point where they know the answers to these questions?
This person has always felt that they were the other sex, and they are even referred to by their significant other as the other sex. But they're not quite comfortable being presented that way completely in public. So it's just interesting, and yeah.
So they're not completely comfortable being recognized as the other gender in public. For me, I felt that same way too, because it was different. It was almost like I desired that, and then when I got it, I got a little shy about it.
You didn't necessarily want the attention of it.
Perhaps that was what it was, because I was afraid that the people that knew me very closely, if I was in public with them, they would slip and say he, or say my boy name that I used to have. So it's almost like it's a double-edged sword.
Right.
You want it, but you don't want it all at one time.
Right.
So I completely understand that.
Yeah.
But it comes with time.
Well, yeah. Any journey, you have to fully step into that space, and that's just a journey. You're not. It's not like you're like boom, boom.
Right, and you're really crawling.
Yeah.
You're not even taking big leaps.
Absolutely.
I remember when I first started dressing in public, I was cleaning out my closet, and I thought, I have all these wonderful clothes. As a guy, what would I do with them? Or who would I want to have all these fabulous things? Because I certainly didn't need them.
Right.
But then I started cleaning. I packed them all away and did not give them away for a while. Because in my closet was 2 hangers. There was a pair of pants and a top that was female. And I wore those all the time because it was this what I was comfortable with. And then I thought, what are people going to think about my voice when I first started? But I learned that people have all kinds of voices. Every woman does not sound the same.
Right.
Every man does not sound the same.
That's what's interesting to me when people say they get clocked, because I know that I talk with a lot of people on the phone, and when I'll have like an insurance inspection or something like that, and I'll be calling on the phone to say I'm half an hour away, and somebody will answer. And what I always do, if it's obviously a female, I say miss. If it's obviously a male, I say mister. If it's not, I say, is this the so-and-so household? And it's usually a woman that I can't tell. But that sometimes women have that kind of the gravelly sort of, smoker's voice, whatever you'd say.
And when they get a little
what I'm
older.
talking, not necessarily the smoking, but the voice I'm talking about.
It's a raspiness, a
right,
gravel,
but you don't ever really know. So, I mean, what I'm saying is that there's lots of biological women out there that have that voice and even have, like, what people would consider maybe a mannish features.
Right.
And so when people say they get clocked, I'm like, really? I mean, who's such an arbiter of... And are they walking up to these people that I meet that I know are biological women that, have aspects that... Are they walking up to them and saying the same thing? Yeah, are they saying that to them as well? I guess that's what I'm kind of questioning.
And I do believe it all comes with with what you are presenting. Yeah.
Right.
Remember we talked about that very first time we spoke about nobody can buy what you're not selling.
That's true.
Nobody will know I'm a man if I don't walk out and say, hey, y'all, I'm a man.
Right.
You know,
Right.
which I would never, ever, I would be mortified.
Mm-hmm.
To just, you know, just even when I said that, it was almost weird.
Right.
You know?
Right. Because you're just
I don't even relate to that part,
Right.
you know. But I do remember those things coming out and thinking all those, it wasn't even something I should have been thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
Because once I got out of my head, which was a long time,
Mm-hmm.
it didn't come, I mean, it was years, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember nobody ever thought anything. They always called me ma'am, even before I started on hormones.
Right.
I was always referred to as a woman. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, this, that, and the other. But I think my family really had a difficult time crossing over to the next gender, to the female side.
Mm.
But now that I've got my name legally changed, my mom won't say Terry. She'll go, you know, she's still not comfortable going Tierra, whatever, but she'll go, because they had a family reunion Saturday and I didn't go, and they asked where I was. And she said, well, they started a new job.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that crazy? I'm not one person, I'm two.
Right, right.
They're at home,
Huh.
but it's better than he's at home.
Right.
I'll take that any day over that.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we do have to give some forgiveness, I think, for certain generations, because that's just, maybe they're doing the best they can.
Mhm. And it's really no big deal.
Right, right. It's only a big deal if you accept it as a
Right,
big deal.
exactly.
You know what
So
I mean?
it's at Target. They never want. The only person that knows is Matt. He works in HR, and his boss.
Mm-hmm.
They're the only people that know, and nobody's said a word. I work with females,
Mm-hmm.
all females, except for the two guys that are on the team.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with the girl that I work with, she knows because I take that back. She knows because she's been to see my shows.
Oh, okay.
There's a few people in the store that knows me from my sister.
Mhm.
My older sister works at Target.
Okay.
And from the club, because Matt brought them.
Right.
So I was thankful to get on her team. But I mean, the girls on her team don't know,
Yeah.
you know?
Right.
And I think I'm in the real world,
Mm-hmm.
living what I call my dream.
Right.
You know, I'm Tierra. I have a payroll check with Tierra written on it.
Wow.
And that's great.
That is fantastic.
My checking account has Tierra
But
written
you
on
had
it.
to dress, like they always used to say, dress for success. You had to be that. You had to embody that before it ever came to be so, didn't you? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, in other words, a lot of people, they would say something like, I want this job, or I want this car, or I want this relationship, but they're sitting where they are, just wanting it. Is that
Right,
what
you
I'm
have to
saying?
step into
You have
it.
to step into it,
Mhm.
and then it comes to you. That's the way.
Yeah.
It's not like people are saying, well, if you gave me $1 million, I would feel rich.
Right.
You understand what
Yes.
I'm saying? It's like, no,
no.
you have to feel your wealth and abundance.
Yes.
And then wealth and abundance comes
Comes
to
back
you.
to you.
You have to feel the love of a relationship, and then a loving relationship comes to you. You have
Yes.
to feel full acceptance of yourself.
And yes,
And then
amen.
other people accept you.
And look, we're all single. We are, see, the group I hang out, we're all single. It's
Right.
me, Jerry, Grant, and Matt, and Heath. We're all single.
And a hot looking person too, I must say.
We are really good people.
Right, right.
But we're single, and it's not like we have dates,
Mm-hmm.
but we're not attached.
Mm-hmm.
And we all probably want to be attached.
Right.
But I'm thinking that we're not, because we're not fully accepting of something within ourselves. If it's so, it would come to us, don't you agree?
Right, right, yeah. Absolutely, yeah. Because there's somebody out there. What does Dan Savage says? He always says there's a bottom for every lap or something. I'm trying to put it in a nice way. I'm not sure exactly how he says it, but in other words, there's somebody out there for everyone. But you have to be open to that space, you know.
Zimbabwe.
Yeah, and I just believe that there is someone for everybody.
Right, right, absolutely, and it's really interesting because we've interviewed so many people, and I've met so many people since we've been on this project and this fantastic journey that we've been on, and we have a little teaser. We've got something we're going to tell you all about in just a little while. But anyway, it's interesting how you're hearing a lot of people that are dating like other sexes and or the same sexes or transgendered.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand? It's almost like this big mixing pot now, where it's coming down to where it's the person. It's not the gender. Or it's not
Right.
the this or the that or something else.
It's not the label.
Right. And I'm checking this one more time. Okay. Thanks. Awesome.
You
All's
know,
well.
we grow up thinking we have to. What is my ideal person? My ideal mate. Of course, he's tall, dark, and handsome.
Right.
But that doesn't necessarily mean what's going to
Are
look.
you dating mine?
Am I dating who?
You dating mine? Is that what you're doing?
I think we all have that image of what
Right.
we like, but
French accent or British?
French.
Okay. All right.
Is yours French?
Mine flips.
But yeah, I don't think that's going to be what I'm going to grow old with.
Okay.
I shouldn't rule it out.
Right.
But I just know that love comes in many forms.
Right.
And in this day and age, I don't think it can be. It won't be the tall, dark, and handsome. It might be the tall and the handsome, but no, it'll be dark. You know.
Right.
So that's what do you think about that?
What am I intuiting for you? Is
Yeah.
that what you're asking?
Because I see you looking.
I do see someone fairly tall and fairly muscular. Yeah, very stockily built.
Yeah, and I love that. I love that.
Yeah, and I'm seeing like light colored hair. Yeah, that's just what I'm seeing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like a dark blonde.
Yeah, I see like some different colored roots actually.
Yeah, maybe he's graying in the roots.
Yeah, I just see different colored
I
roots.
think he's
from
going to be middle aged. You know, a little older than me,
Mhm.
but not too old. You know, I like an older man.
Mhm.
The guy that I dated for a while was a coach in Birmingham in high school.
Mm.
Yeah, but
Wow.
but nobody knew down there because he was, you know,
Right.
he was at a school. You know, he had to protect
So
his
he would
job.
come to
He would come to
Huntsville?
Huntsville all the time. He would drive up from Birmingham on his day off just to have lunch with me.
Oh, okay. Because he was out of his own space, he didn't have to worry about running into other
Well,
people he knew. That
Probably
type of
that,
thing.
but the thing was, he was so open
Mhm.
that in Birmingham he would go to the gay bars and watch the shows.
Oh.
Him
okay.
and his wife would.
Oh.
You know,
well, you
it's-
just threw a whole nother paradigm into
Yeah, and it's almost, and I never met her,
Yeah,
of course,
right.
but he told me that she was lesbian.
Mhm.
You know, she had those traits that she liked women as well.
Right.
He didn't say she liked men and women, but he did say she was a lesbian.
Mhm.
She likes women. So, yeah, it was just. So he was tall, very, very. He was a bodybuilder in his younger days.
Mhm.
So he still had that.
That build to
that
him.
that V
right?
cut. You know, he
Right.
was a nice looking man. And then, of course, when you date a bisexual man,
Uh-oh.
you know you
We're
can't
back
al-
to
you can't always have all of him.
Right. Okay.
I'm not selling for that anymore. You know.
Yeah.
So I just don't know what it would be in the
Right.
form of. It could be anything.
Right.
But when you want somebody to really love you,
Mm.
you just can't throw them away if they don't look like you thought they would.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes things come to us in packages we weren't quite expecting, and
Right.
that's part of the beauty of life is to be joyful and grateful and accepting of everything that does come your way, because it's perfect in its own way. It may not be as you pictured it, or maybe like TV tells you it's supposed to be, or
Right.
whatever. You know, because I think I know I'm from the generation where I was very much raised by TV.
Mhm.
So I was very colored, even up to my 40s, of expecting things to happen
Mhm.
as it happened on the Brady Bunch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I completely understand.
So you have to kind of move away from that and realize, you know, what really is coming to you. I mean, I just didn't even see the incredible abundance and everything that was just there, right there in my hands. You know what I mean?
Isn't it usually?
Mhm. Absolutely. And if you're watching this, okay, honestly, you know, you've got changes of clothes, you've got a place to lay your head, you've got food, you've got electricity, you've got a computer. You are doing better than what 99% of the world.
A
is
lot
doing.
of the world, yes.
So be grateful.
Yes.
You know, and we're grateful for you watching us. By the way, we want to tell you that we were very appreciative.
Always. Always. I was told if you don't have anywhere to go, you're already at the right place.
Oh.
You know,
Oh, I like
if
that.
you're standing around thinking, I need to go, I need to, not to toward you, Grant, because Grant's wanting to relocate and move out
Right.
there. But I've been around so many people who have wanted just to move.
Right.
They thought that was their place. They had to get out of Huntsville. They had to get out of here or do
Right.
this. But if you don't have anywhere to go, you're already at the place you're
Right.
supposed to
And
be.
you really should grow where you're planted.
Planted.
You know, I mean, I very much feel like there's other places for me to be, but I'm growing where I am, and I'm
That
working
would
with
take
what I
you other
have.
places,
and Yeah, absolutely.
I believe that.
Absolutely.
It's a crazy world, you know.
Yeah.
But it all makes sense when you start just letting it live, letting it be.
So should we talk about the new project
Yeah,
that's
let's talk
coming
about
up?
that.
So, we have Tea Time with Tierra, which is on YouTube. And then Tea Time with Tierra is also on TrueToYouRadio.com, which I'm the program manager. Oh. And so we are getting a lot of LGBT programming on TrueToYouRadio.com, and we have decided that it is getting close to time for us to create an actual, actually it would be a third station, because there's also ClearMindRadio.com, which is all like meditation music. So there's actually two, ClearMindRadio.com and TrueToYouRadio.com, as well as Tea Time with Tierra on YouTube and Tea Time with Tierra on radio.com. So anyway,
It's a mouthful, isn't it?
Right, it is. So we have decided to just put it out there to the universe that we are going to make LiveTrueToYouRadio.com, which is going to be LGBT centric. In other words, it's going to be all based. It's going to be all the hosts and all the shows are going to be about the LGBT community, about all different aspects. And I want to put this in a really great way. This is going to be about bringing the LGBT community forward, because I think we've been this outlandish, outrageous community because we kind of had to make our own space, and I think that's a beautiful thing. But in a lot of ways, it's been in a sort of a self-hatred kind of a way, a self-deprecating kind of a way as well. So what we're looking for is this being like a positive aspect. In other words, now don't take offense, but we're not going to be like a couple 16-year-olds sitting in their kitchen talking about why we should be mean to Britney. That's not and
Right.
there's a place for those shows, and I love them, but that's not what this is going
Right.
to be. This is going to be more of a how a lesbian couple would get a child, or how a transgendered couple would get a child, and what states becoming legally married is okay, and what nations you can be
Yeah.
openly public, and just all kind of anything that you can imagine that would cover that would concern the LGBT community, like in real on the
Real
rubber
life,
road
yeah.
to life. That's what we're going to be about. So it's going to be the planned name is going to be LiveTrueToYouRadio.com. That's the plan, and the plan is to have what we would call a hard launch, January 1st, 2015. What I mean by that is it's probably going to be running before then, but that's when our official launch is going to be. So I asked Tierra today, and this is something that we're going to be so totally planning, is to have like a huge launch party here at our TrueToYouRadio.com headquarters. If you want more information, you can go to Tea Time with Tierra on Facebook. You can go to TeaTimeWithTierra.com. I'm Pete Casaboon on Facebook. You can go to TrueToYouRadio.com, the Contact Us page. Is there any way that they can contact you, Tierra?
They can also I have a personal page. It's Tierra Stone.
Okay.
They can contact me there. I have Tierra Equality Stone on there.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
It's got like 6,000 friends on it.
Oh, wow.
So I had to check. Well, they limit you on Facebook.
Right.
So I had to get another page.
Need to get another page.
So now I'm thinking I need.
popular.
I'm thinking I need a normal.
Do that for me. There you go. Love it.
I think I need a everyday page though.
An everyday page.
But I don't know if they have limits on
A
it.
low heels page.
Yeah, low heels. Because the other one is definitely grab your scarf and heels.
We don't have our pearls with us today.
Oh, my goodness.
We forgot our pearls. They're here, so they're in the back room somewhere. Anyway.
I was going to, when we were talking about character within ourselves and stuff,
Yeah.
I was going to say this. How many people you think would be so surprised if they looked in their mirror and seen their character instead of their face? Something to think about, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would be scared if they seen their character and not their face.
Well, explain that more. Talk to me more about that. What you
I think
mean.
if you could look at your character, meaning who you are as a person, what do you stand for, what are you really deep inside, what is your passion? If you're if you're just a nasty person, or if you're just putting on fronts like you're a good person, and you looked in the mirror, and that was what reflected,
Gotcha.
wouldn't a lot of people be terrified? Not maybe they wouldn't, but I've thought about that lately, about that mirror, because a mirror really reflects a lot. It's a portal.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
And if we seen past what everybody sees, and that's what came up in the show, and it was up front, wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, but now I think I want to make sure you realize that the energy that like say somebody that you would consider not a nice person, and you're sitting in the same room, your energies have to align for that to come out. Does that make sense?
Well, I was just talking about in a if it was just a possibility to walk up to a mirror and see your character. What would the reaction be?
Right.
Versus, I've got this beautiful scarf on and this new lashes, or just the whole 9 yards. You're dolled up.
Right.
But your character still shows through that. It could be a great thing. It could be an accessory, but it could be.
I actually think people's character does show through.
Do you?
Do you not?
I think it could and it can. I don't think. I think if you're intuitive to a lot of things, you probably could. Pretty size up a person, so to speak.
Well, have you ever been in a room and say like somebody very fashionable, very beautiful walks in and nobody pays them any mind, and then somebody comes in and what you would consider something a little bit dowdy, and everybody seems to want to go talk to them? Have you ever experienced that before?
I have. Yes, I have.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying when I think your character does come forward. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but as a person,
Because-
as a person sees himself.
Yeah, no, that may be completely different.
If you walk,
right.
it was just you in the mirror.
Right.
And you
right.
actually the truth was there. I think if you're living an authentic life,
Yeah,
that
some people put on that facade as a sort of a cover-up, and some people put it on as an expression.
right. I agree with you
understand what I'm
100%.
saying? Right.
Yes.
Right. And I think people can see through that. Is it a cover-up or is it an expression?
I think you're right on that. Yeah.
Because if you feel that fabulousness and then you put on something fabulous and you walk into a room, you are the star.
It's like that. You're wearing the outfit. The outfit's not wearing you.
Exactly. Right. Right. Mhm.
This girl told me once, she said, I had to put on a happy dress today because I'm not feeling that well. I said, girl, that dress is frowning. She said, I was like,
Right.
it's
exactly.
not
See,
making you smile, right?
Exactly. Right. It can if you let it.
If you're really a good actress
Yeah.
or actor.
Yeah.
And there are people,
Yeah.
that.
Well, I mean,
question.
sometimes if you're in a bad mood, you can find something that
Oh, yeah.
brings you pleasure that will at least elevate you a little
A
bit.
new scarf would always do something.
Yeah, I mean, like the who I follow, Abraham Hicks. Which I know you've started watching. She talks about a scale of emotional scale. Like anger is better than depression.
Amen.
And so people may think of anger as a bad thing, but if you're depressed,
It's not
it's a
so
heck
bad,
of a lot
right.
better to be angry than because if you're depressed and then you're angry, you feel better. You know what I mean?
Good way to explain that,
Right.
because I guess a lot of people wouldn't think about it that way.
Right. Everybody always thinks, I'm supposed to be just like joyously happy all the time, and I'm really the happiest person I know, and I'm not gonna say I'm joyously happy all the time. You know what I mean? I have my mo's, but but I always work on ratcheting myself back up to the next level. But I don't make myself think I have to be bouncing off the walls
Right.
every 5 seconds. I just want
That
to
could get on someone's nerves. couldn't it?
yeah, well, yeah, it can worry you. It's just impossible to do.
Right.
Like Abraham Hicks says, if you're in a speeding train heading one way, it's not like you can flip it around and turn the other way immediately. You got to slow
Right.
that train down and then turn it around and speed back up the other way. You know what I mean? Which just makes total sense to me. But-
Yeah. Complete sense.
Mhm.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, we have covered a
A
lot.
lot of territory today.
Yes, this has been fun. I'm really glad our guest didn't show up.
We want you to show up next time.
Yes,
though.
we absolutely do. So he had some medical issues.
He was off work for almost 2 months with a back problem.
Oh.
He closed Friday night at work, and he told Matt that he was moved the wrong way, and it just seemed like it messed everything up again.
Right.
So he's in bed today,
Right.
and they're supposed to leave for Washington tomorrow to go get married. Him and his boyfriend.
Hmm.
So
He's not in alignment with something. See, because our bodies, I'm gonna get a little spiritual. I'm gonna stop saying that.
Yeah,
That's gonna- our bodies are very much. They're a magnificent machine, really, that has been built for us that monitors where we are and how we feel and how we express ourselves, and our natural state of being is complete and total health. So I'm not wanting anybody that doesn't feel perfectly well to feel bad, but I'm just saying there's something there's something that you're blocking, or something that is not flowing correctly. And I get aches and pains too, and I stumble a lot, and so it's like, okay, what's Pete not being really sure about his path or his footing for? There's always something, and like I'm not the most coordinated person, so I know one of my issues is balance, and it's totally, that's just, when you start seeing. And it's usually right in with whatever it is. Like his would be, it's with his back, so it's probably with something with alignment, as far as like, where he wants to be and where he is right now, and he can't really see himself going there. It's just kind of what I'm getting. So, just kind of start asking those questions. Don't look at it just like, okay, I have appendicitis, or I have cancer, or I have whatever it might be, or heart troubles. Look at it as, why am I? Because even doctors will say, stress kills. That stress makes you, gives stress hormones and causes, cholesterol, which gives hardening of the arteries and that type of thing. So even doctors, when you finally delve down to, okay, so you're saying it's how I'm feeling that's really what's affecting. When you finally like go through all the 10,000 pages of medical documents, you finally get down to it's the way you feel that makes you that brings you health. And that's what they finally say when you get down through there. And there's a reason they call it practicing medicine. Nothing against doctors. And the medical practice should totally be there, and I think it was divinely inspired. So I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is go beyond what they're telling you, or what you're thinking it is, just like the surface of it, and really delve into, why am I, why is this happening to me? What is it that I'm blocking, or what is it that I'm feeling, or what is it that I've taken? Because it's usually something you've taken into yourself, some anger or disappointment, or anger at somebody else, or jealousy, or, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
I mean, there's a reason people over-medicate and drink too much and have too much sex, and there's an absolute reason that people are doing that.
There's a reason for every little thing.
Right, and all that has an effect. So
I had studied a little chart that this girl gave me that practices Reiki. And she gave me it was a chart of the body, and I believe it was points that I can't remember exactly. I need to get it back out. But like if your feet hurt, it means you're kind of not grounded as much as you're not as confident about being grounded. And if your neck hurts, you're something about I forgot all it points everything out. Right.
And it is so true, because that's what your body is. Your body is just like a monitor. Your body is just it's a monitoring system.
Monitor's a good word.
Yeah.
I need to laminate that and put it on the refrigerator.
Yeah, and it's got a feedback system to tell you, hey, this is up. And you can ignore it, or you can,
Yeah.
Or you can
a lot of people. And I think a lot of people just feed the pain by making it,
Yeah, I'm not going to say any names, but there was a person on Facebook that just continuously kept talking about medical issues that they were having, and just just redundant. It's like they were in such pain, and I mean, of course I felt for them, but I Facebook messaged them, and I said, if you're in this much pain, why don't you try some alternative methods? And I said, I do some different methods, that have helped people with medical issues. I'm not putting myself out. I just know that I've helped people, with pain and different types of things. I said I would be willing to offer this for free. Nothing else ever came on Facebook from that person. I thought, at least they're not talking about it anymore.
And that's
I mean, when you talk about things like that, you are propelling it. So I'm not meaning that in a bad way. Like, we shouldn't talk about your pain. I'm just saying, and you should express your things. But if it's like all you ever talk about, I mean,
I've been in that wilderness, isn't it?
Right, and y'all know what I'm talking about. You know people that are always in the relationship that where they're being smacked around, and then they leave that person and go, and then they're getting smacked around, and they leave that person and go, they get smacked around, or they're always having car accidents, so they're always getting speeding tickets, so they're always having problems with it. It's just over, and it's like life is trying to teach them a lesson. They just aren't listening.
The brick hadn't hit them in the head, or something.
So that's where I'm coming from. I mean, of course, to be open and honest and tell the things that you're going through, but really start looking at it more than just on the surface level, what it's actually trying to tell you, because life is trying to teach you a lesson to bring you more full life. And that's what 51 years old is what finally it took the universe a long time to tell Pete this, and I'm still learning. But I'm getting there.
Well, I'm glad you are.
Thank you, darling.
That's an awesome place to be.
Yes, it is. So anything else we should talk about?
I think we have covered a lot.
Wow.
Yeah, what do you think?
I think so. I think they're the luckiest people out there get to watch us two
this episode's
fabulous,
going to have a lot
people.
of people.
Yeah. I love it.
We thank you all for tuning in each and every episode. We couldn't do it without you, because if y'all didn't watch, we wouldn't have any people watching us. So we appreciate it. We love y'all, and we thank you for everything. Thank you in advance for the next one. Be kind to each other. Goodbye.